Hello, seedlings of light. Welcome back to Black, Gray, and White. I'm Bailey.
I'm Sandy.
And today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to love yourself. This is one of my most favorite topics to talk about. And to start it off, I just would like to tell each and every one of you that you are worthy of being loved and that you're special and you are kind and you're beautiful and you deserve all of the greatness in the world.
For sure. And sometimes we don't feel that for whatever reason, whether society, generational, preconceived hurts, anything, or real hurts. It comes out in different ways. And how do you start to do it in small amounts that fit into your lifestyle is what we're going to just give you things that we started. And again, back to when I went to Ayurveda and Shamesu, she had mentioned the touch is the best way to show love. So doing that is when you start putting lotion on, just saying I love and approve myself, starting there and
I love and approve of myself and looking internally and changing those negative self-talks that you have with yourself instead of beating yourself up. I had one person once tell me, they said, would you talk to a friend the same way you talk to yourself? And if you did, would you still be friends with that person? And that just kind of shook me to the core because how I was speaking to myself was I wasn't at all patient. I didn't give myself the benefit of the doubt, I was extremely hard on myself. And that's something that I had to change my internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And working through that. So I do it when I put on lotion. I say I love and accept myself. My new one I realized is I love and approve of myself. Through our work that we're doing these videos, we've been going back into Louise Hayes and my Heroism, and the main thing in that was not fear and not approving of myself. So that's been one thing that I'm currently working on.
And it's a great way to do it. Just again, the touch. Some of the other ways, I started drinking tea. So rose, right? We have rose oil, rose tea, rose perfume. There's all different methods of getting that. And rose, again, is
rose quartz.
Yep, rose quartz is a good one.
You can meditate with crystals. Basically, the biggest thing about loving yourself is finding those quiet moments. So I do mantras when I brush my teeth. I do mantras when I shower. So those are the times that I have to myself that I do every day. Cross your fingers. Hopefully I'm showering every day. You're welcome.
And brushing my teeth.
Good thing you're not here in person to test it for yourself. But those are the times that I have every day. And what I noticed was most of the time I was sitting there stressing about stuff that I had to do, doing a to-do list, going through things instead of actually being present in that moment and with myself. So that's how I started working those in. And like with essential oils when I was sick, I'm happy and healthy.
So rose is another symbol, right? Iconic symbol of love. And my Shamesu had recommended rose tea. And it was hard because it's a fragrance. So I'm not sure if you're used to lavender, different flowers in your tea. But I would sit down and she actually recommended rose jam. So I would take a spoon of rose jam.
And it has petals in it. So just so you're aware, it's a texture. So that's fun.
Yes, it is.
It's a texture.
And some milk and water, and however you want to fix it. It's pretty sweet, so I didn't add a sweetener or honey or sugar to it. But sipping on that, and it did take a while, but now I really enjoy it. And I don't drink it every day. I can tell if maybe I got somebody verbally beat me up, or maybe you're going through a stressful time in life. That's when I'll sit down and I really needed it during a time when I lost a loved one, feeling that, and sitting and sipping my tea, it just adds to the nurturing of the loss for me. rose tea, putting essential oils on your feet. I don't know if people have done oils, but we'll do a video on oil and your feet. That's a really nice way of treating yourself. So a little foot soak. So people that are parenting and it's really hard to incorporate these things, a foot soak while maybe you're reading, and maybe everybody get a basin and everybody puts their feet in it, laying on your back, and everybody does a little foot soak for people.
Mm-hmm. And make it a group thing as a parent. That was one of the fun things that my mom always did for me is she'd bring the little tub out, put some Epsom salts in it, and I'd get to watch a movie with my popcorn and soak my feet, and you know, you really feel the love through that. I think it's finding what works for you and where you have that time. And the biggest thing is changing the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you interact.
The way your subconscious hears and thinks, and changing that is the best way, right? And to do that is the repetition, and maybe taking that, just those 2 minutes when you come through the door after work or when you start work and you're going through the door, and just taking the 3 deep breaths and releasing and grounding and getting ready for whatever you do. Say your prayer, affirmation, mantra, whatever works for you. But it's like that start. I don't know if you've seen the bells, the ringing of the bells. When you go to yoga, they'll ring the bell and they ding it to start and to stop. But really what it is
a signal to your body.
It's signaling your body that, and if you've done any pet training, you're signaling to your body to know we're done with that and we're ready to move on to go back to the routine you're familiar with. And so setting that ritual,
and especially in the morning and in the evenings, I would say morning top 10. I have struggled with being a morning person for a minute, so I'm still working on that, and I tend to wake up on the wrong side of the bed more often than not. And so when I get into that mind space of I love and accept myself, today's going to be a wonderful day, I am worthy, I am patient, I am kind, and really getting in that mindset helps you treat yourself and love yourself throughout the day, because you started your day like that. And then it's a lot easier to end your day when you've loved yourself all day.
And some of the hiccups that you get into with loving yourself is diet. I had a friend that called it the 4-letter word, and that really can be. And a diet is just eating well throughout the day, whatever that looks like for you, your body type, your routine. So when we eat, again, we're not mindful, like you were saying, when you brush your teeth, you have other things going on. Maybe you're with kids, maybe you're at work, maybe it's your time just to get on Facebook, whatever that is. It's distracting from the food, and so you're not doing
conscious. You're not being conscious.
Yeah, doing your body justice by not being present and letting the food come in and making you wonderfully well. Like I told you before, digestive problems. And so one of the things is just to take 3 deep breaths before I start and say, I am safe. And because I use my religious background, I will say I'm safe in the hands of God. I'm safe with Christ. And I do that. And then prayer over my food allows the body now to nourish where it needs, instead of I'm saying that my body is number 1 at this time.
And she's blessing the food. So any negativity, anything that came along, even with McDonald's, anything that other people's energy had absorbed, when you pray over the food or you put your affirmation or you put the love over that cleanses that food, and that food goes into your body with love. So that's just another way of providing that love to yourself. And it really is. I challenge you to maybe call somebody that you love today. Just reach out and live in that loving moment. I know how blessed I am to live so close to my mom and be able to spend so much quality time with her, especially with this COVID-19, this pandemic going on. I have been lucky enough to root in my faith with my mom every morning and spend our time together and really, really start our day off on a loving note. And that changes my mindset and how I talk and treat myself for the rest of the day. So ground in your ground in your friends, ground in those who you love.
Yeah. And just noticing that. And it's a great way, even if maybe you're not ready to do it to yourself, but I would suggest doing it with your children, especially, bedtime. If you just sit down and for them, right, to turn off the world for them, what does that look like? Maybe, sitting and listening to some peaceful music, rubbing their feet, putting, a lotion on their feet and saying the same thing, that how much you love them and how much you approve of them and that they're safe. And it doesn't have to be long, but it will make a difference. And especially, I think a lot of children these days, and we'll go into the vibration video later, but I think these are kind of techniques to get them on the right path, so you don't have to put them on medication, and maybe it will lessen the OCD characteristics. But start there with your children as when they're in the bath, they get out and you're rubbing them off with the towel, patting them dry, you love them, you're loved. And then you can make it a song. It's fun to make it, right, to sing along, make up a song about, the I love you to the moon and back. That's always a good one. I mean, that is a great book, and I think it's going to be really special for a lot of kids in their childhood, that when you put the lotion on. And just doing that is going to, once you start doing it with them, then you can move into you and your partner, other people, and that kindness just spreads.
You, as parents, because I noticed this with my mother, she fills everybody's cup before her own. And I think that sometimes that may be a little bit backwards, because you can't pour anything out of an empty cup. You're just, you literally dry yourself out. You drain all out. And so I think it's very important for parents, especially because you're constantly providing love, attention, and support, that you give yourself at least 2 minutes of that back in order to fill you up so you have more to give.
I agree. I think that would be, that's the ideal world, right? That's what we're striving for. And I know being parents, especially being working parents outside the house, and everything's changing and it's just hard. But yeah, if you could take and try a couple of minutes a day with you and your family and see how that works.
Yeah, let us know your tips and tricks on how you've learned to love yourself or what resonated with you. Let us know if you try anything. blackgrayandwhite1@gmail.com.
Scroll to the bottom, leave us a comment. I would love to hear. I'm trying to monitor. I'm learning the new ways. This Facebook
we're figuring it out, and it's not Facebook, it's YouTube, but we're on it.
To.
But we're getting it. So
that too.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.